Is there really a city of rats down there? Only one way to find out. See ya on the other side.
Flushed Away, directed by Sam Fell and David Bowers, and is the third feature-length Aardman movie, as well as the 12th DreamWorks movie overall, and the final movie Aardman and Dreamworks would make together before the studios ended their partnership. Flushed Away tells the story. The World Cup final between England and Germany is about to begin, and Roddy, a pampered rat, voiced by Hugh Jackman, is left alone while his owners go on holiday, and a sewer rat, Sid, voiced by Shane Ritchie, ends up in his home. He attempts to flush a Sid down the loo to be rid of him. It backfires, and Sid ends up flushing Roddy instead. So Roddy uh, is finds himself in the rat city underground of Ratatropolis, and teams up with the captain of the Jammy Dodger herself, Rita, voiced by Kate Winslet, as she is attempting to get the ruby back from the uh, evil dictator of Ratatropolis, the Toad, voiced by Ian McKellen. After Roddy and Rita steal the Master Cable, which is the key to the Toad's plan of flushing away and drowning all the rats in the sewer so that he can repopulate the city with his Toad children. It's it, Roddy must make a decision. Does he belong up top or in the sewer? Now, uh, this to me is the last Aardman movie that I have a real affection for. I think this is Aardman's biggest never judge a book by its cover movie. I mean, if you were to pitch the idea of a movie about a rat getting flushed down a toilet, I mean, the executive producers would have burst out laughing. They'd be like, "No, sorry, you're on the fast track to a flop." But no, no. Aardman and DreamWorks made the concept about a rat getting flushed away generally awesome. Flushed Away is a fabulous animated comedy and a near comedy masterpiece. It's certainly one of the funniest animated movies of all time period, as well as the most underrated movie of 2006, and as well as the best animated movie from 2006. I was debating whether this or Cars was the best animated movie from 2006, but thinking about it, I Flushed Away is overall my favourite. As let's face it, it is more entertaining and brisker pace than Cars, and it's certainly kicks the crap out of the other shit DreamWorks movie we got that year, Over the Hedge. But I still think DreamWorks gets too much credit for this movie, as I see this more as a Aardman property. I mean, as well, the character designs do look way more like that of Wallace and Gromit. And it was DreamWorks that didn't take it well when Flushed Away did not make the box office takings they were hoping for. Yes, sadly, this is Aardman's second lowest grossing film to date, second only to Early Man. It's outrageous this movie didn't get the critical buzz and box office takings that it truly deserves. And the Academy snubbing this movie for a Best Animated Feature nomination, I strongly disagree with. And I uh, I was generally obsessed with Flushed Away as an 11-year-old. Like, I had the Flushed Away McDonald's action figures. I think I may still have the one of Rita, Scissor, the Toad, and the Frog. And I also received the flushed away Game Boy Gamer for Christmas that year, and the game was certainly more fighting based than the movie. But yeah, seeing the movie with my mum and sister in the cinema that December, I mean, that was a special early Christmas present, uh, uh, and and that day I hold dear to my heart. Thank God we saw that instead of, Aragon. And yes, I, like many others, wish this movie was a stop motion and like Wallace and Gromit, but sadly at the time, shortly after Curse of the Were-Rabbit's release back in 2005, the studio that holds a lot of the Aardman models and sets caught fire. Plus, Flushed Away had, a ton of water in the story, and water is, well, extremely challenging to do with stop motion. So we would have had a much longer wait for this movie had it been claymation. The CGI is still terrific and very much keeps the character designs that Aardman would always do. I mean, they it, this movie looks like an Aardman movie way more than Arthur Christmas does. The characters, while not perfect, are for the most part terrific and voiced by a truly wonderful cast. One of the, well, biggest celebrity A-list cast ever assembled for an animated feature. Rozzy, I mean, he's Mr. Lonely, you can say. I mean, he adores a solitude, but once he gets flushed down the toilets, he discovers a world that he ends up loving even more than his original home. And the story really gets going when Roddy is flushed down the loo. And this was Hugh Jackman's first ever animated role, and he slays the English accent, and he would go on to voice, of course, Sir Lionel Frost in 2019's Missing Link. And yes, Roddy may dress like James Bond, but he's far from a goody two shoes character. No, he really does have a sense of fun and is a real rebel at heart. As for Rita, she is straight up my favourite character in this movie, and Kate Winslet knocks it out of the freaking parts with her voice acting here. And this was the first movie role I ever saw Kate Winslet in. I know she's going to do wonders with her character Ronal in Avatar: The Way of Water this December, but Rita is the most badass of all the characters in this movie, and she helps Roddy, well, bring out his fun side even more. And I love how Roddy and Rita never really fall in love. You know, they just keep it as friends and a brother and sister type relationship. And I kind of wish Rita's family got more screen time because they are totally gut-bustingly funny, especially Rita's grandma. Tom, oh, it's Tom Jones. I'm coming, Mr. Jones. I'm coming. Then you have Sid, the raptor who ends up, well, he's the reason Roddy is in the zoo in the first place, and ends up, well, switching places with Roddy when Roddy agrees to let Sid have the place when he realizes he truly belongs in the sewer. And Sid is a character who gets more likable as the movie progresses. I mean, you initially think that's uncalled for what he did to Roddy, robbing him of his home, but then you realise, oh, actually, Roddy getting flushed was the best thing for him in the end. I am not an EastEnders fan by any means, but Shane Ritchie is utterly delightful as Sid, and it's hilarious how Tabitha, Roddy's little girl owner, she brings a cat home from her holiday in a mid-credit scene. So I'm guessing she and her family took a holiday to Greece because they have cats everywhere. And the Toad, our lead antagonist, voiced by Gandalf himself, Ian McKellen. I mean, he's literally the crime lord of the sewer, I mean, and the fact that he wants to commit genocide on the rats of the sewer. I mean, damn, Aardman went dark there. I mean, but still keep it comedic. But you do get the Toad's motivation for why he despises rats so much, because in the scene where he's opening up to Lefrog about his backstory with Prince Charles and how after Charles got a rat for his birthday and then he was flushed away down the loo. But it does beg the question, if he hates rats that much, why the hell would he have Spike and Whitey as his henchmen? I mean, he should have just had Lefrog as the henchman from the get-go. I mean, Spike and Whitey are the screw up, goofy henchmen who, but Whitey is the more gentle of the two, and Spike is the more spiteful. Danger's my middle name. I thought it was Leslie. Keep your legs straight when you hit the water. Like, hit me legs straight, Spike. So yeah, yeah. As a villain duo, their comedic timing is flawless, but I've no idea why they would work for the Toad who wants to eradicate their species. You know, you'd think they'd be good guys. I think they'd work better as heroes personally than villains. And I mean, and Lefrog is way more of a villain as he's an actual amphibian. So it makes sense he would support the Toad's plan a lot more. Yeah, I do think Lefrog is introduced in the movie a little too late. He literally doesn't come in until like towards the third act. But when he is there, he kicks absolute arse, and Jean Renel is having a absolute baller with this character. You're going to pay for that, my little chocolate croissant, and get your kids a puppy. And who can forget the singing slugs? And who would have thought that Aardman could make slugs that are considered, well, repulsive creatures the cutest of things? I mean, and uh, and the soundtrack by Harry Gregson Williams, while I'm not going to remember his score for Flushed Away as much as his for Shrek or Narnia, but I do love his inclusion of rocker music for Reese's action scenes and the dancing with myself song in the opening, where when Roddy has the home all to himself and um, and rolling on a river, it is a well rollicking a great song to end the movie, and you even get Roddy performing a bit of Tom Jones. She's a lady. And for a movie that's just an hour and 20 minutes, it is so dense in plots. Uh, full of action, Roddy and Rita's escape from the Toad's lair, Rita and Roddy driving the jammy Dodger through the city to escape Spike and Whitey, Rita's fight with Lefrog at the rapids at Hyde Park, and the climax when the Toad, his plan comes to fruition while the World Cup final is going on. I mean, that's is one of the biggest high stakes climaxes that Aardman have ever achieved, and I mean, I I couldn't care less about the World Cup, but I could see why Aardman would use it in the plot of Flushed Away, as the World Cup was going on the year the movie was released, uh, and there is innuendo in this movie, but it's done harmlessly. And Roddy is holding on to Rita's pants, and he's like, "No, don't break. There are things I want to do, sights I want to see." And then her trousers come down, revealing her underwear. That wasn't on the list. Ah, hey. Also, I really got a kick out of the pop cultural references in the dancing with myself sequence, when Roddy is looking for something to wear and he pulls out a Wallace suit, and then he pulls out a Wolverine suit, which is ironic because both Hugh Jackman plays Wolverine as well as Roddy. Roddy pulls out a Bond movie for his movie premiere and he dresses like James Bond. So you could have titled Flushed Away No Time to Flush. I wish I could praise this movie as a god tier Aardman effort like The Curse of the Were-Rabbit and Chicken Run, but why I can't is because I feel the message is one sizes and doesn't apply to everybody. The movie has a commentary on why you shouldn't live alone, and people who don't live with friends or family, have no life. And Roddy learning that is so cliche, so predictable. Yes, sharing a home with others works for some people and can be great, but that doesn't mean everybody has to do that. People are entitled to live their own lives how they see fit. If they want to live alone, that's fine. If they want to live with others, no problem. But overall, Flushed Away is evidence that Aardman were not going to go down the drain at any time soon, and goes to show that so they could make CGI animated movies just as well as stop motion ones.
Are you flushed away? 4 stars out of 5. Great movie.
So thanks again, Ollie, for the request. I hope you enjoyed the review, and uh, yeah, just well, a few more Aardman movies to go, and uh, it's really sucks that we had no more Aardman and Dreamworks collabs after this. Well, I love you guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. And what are your thoughts on Flushed Away? Are you with me and consider it the most underrated gem from 2006? Or do you find it one of Aardman's more average, lesser efforts? So please comment and let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Please follow on Twitter and on Instagram. And I'll see you all next time when I share my thoughts on the Super Mario Bros. Trailer from Illumination. And remember, movies are us. Bye, guys.